Yo, what is up, everybody? We are back for another video. In this video, I am going to be breaking down why most content creators stay broke, right? And I know this because I have worked with numerous creators myself. I have generated millions of dollars, hit $100,000 months, met Alex Hormozi and Sam and have been very fortunate to be in some of the rooms with a lot of great other marketers as well, and just breaking down, why content creators stay broke. And even after speaking to numerous amount of content creators, um, I'll just jump straight into it, right? So a lot of the times, most content creators, I guess I'll just get into step one, is why most content creators stay broke is because they chase the views, right? And what I mean by chasing the views is I feel like content creators start content not for the reasoning on them seeing the outcome of kind of what they want to portray or what they want themselves to be like, right? I really do think that, you should have a little bit of thought into what you want to create and how you want to be portrayed on the internet, because as good as it sounds, yes, it is just good to just start picking up the camera and yapping to it and figuring out, your content as it goes. But I do think, like, in the long run, and what I'm seeing with a lot of these content creators is, they're just posting one just to post. And it's nothing wrong with just posting just to post. But when it comes down to, you have 100,000 followers or 500,000 followers, and you sit here and look at it and you're like, holy cow, I have all these followers, yet I'm broke as hell. You know what I mean? So I see and I hear a lot of people, they view the content as something that they love to do. They want to work from home. They want to be able to have that financial freedom, but they built something to where they're already winning. But now it's like they're struggling on that last step. You know what I mean? Because it takes time with content, right? You're not just going to blow up overnight. And if you do, that's like a very low percentage of someone who just blows up overnight, right? So with that being said, a lot of these content creators will continue to just post for the views. Like, for an example, we had a client, he was in the fitness realm, and his fitness content was his content was very high dopamine, right? He wasn't showing his face. It was fast edits. It was aesthetically pleasing. And it was just basically revolved around the dream workout lifestyle that someone would want. And he would get insane amount of views. I mean, 17, 20, 30 million views on each video. But when he decided that he wants to help people get fit along with their journey and everything like that, when he posts this, or when he doesn't ask and he says, hey, DM me one-on-one, or I'm offering one-on-one help, no one was the ideal person he wanted to work with, right? He sat down and he realized that, I have to switch this type of content up. And when it comes down to having to switch content up, it's kind of like you're starting all over again, right? Because for the people who followed him, they were there for the high dopamine. And so when he starts to do talking head videos, or he's giving out true real value, he's starting to lose followers. The views are going down, and it kind of puts this thing inside of the creator's mind of like, holy crap, am I making good content? Is my content good enough? They start to get that self-doubt, and it's kind of like a dark cloud over their head, because once they start to feel like that, you have people like, a marketing company or people like us who will come out there, or we'll get on a call with them, and they're just so drained to the point to where they can't even make the right decisions based on the previous experience that they've had, right? And so what I really want to get at here is, one, I truly believe that you should have at least some type of vision behind your content and why you want to post content, right? If you want to be funny, you want to have brain rot stuff, be an overall goofy person or whatever, then do that. But if your angle is to, let's say, make millions offline or just be able to teach people, you want to be out there providing value, right? If you want to be a guy who's, known for teaching someone, you don't want to be out here, posting just smoking videos or doing anything not like that, because you won't attract that person, right? Like if you're trying to attract someone who wants to buy your clothing brand, why are we posting video game clips? You know what I mean? Like, yes, no, don't get me wrong. You will have some buyers, but I guarantee you'd have a lot more buyers if you showed the journey on how you started your clothing brand to where it is now to then you're at doing an ask. You get a lot more sales than rather your whole content channel is about video games, and then you turn around and you just drop, a clothing brand or something like that. Like I said, depending on how strong your personal brand is, you can definitely do that. But for a lot of these creators out here who are even teaching educational content, they have educational content. A lot of them suck at asking, right? They're very good at providing value, providing value, providing value. But when it comes to an ask, it's like a whole different ballgame for them. I said this in my previous video. The creators are very good at grabbing the attention. But when it's time to sell their time for that attention, dude, it's like they stutter or they don't know what to do, right? And I'll go into this because I said this in my last video as well, is a lot of these content creators have been burned. I think like there are a lot of people out here who see the online space and it's more of like, oh, let me get into this online space. Let me work from home. Let me do this. Let me do that. And in reality, it's not really what it seems, Yeah, you are working from home, but it gets lonely. It gets, you have to put in more hours than someone who actually goes out to go to work. And so a lot of these content creators are tired of the, 5K, 40% of their company, especially when people aren't even, delivering on what they promised on, right? And so I think, now it's coming down to standing out in the market, obviously having, different strategies, different tactics. Like I'm starting to see now, everybody's pushing towards webinars. Webinars, I know for sure rip, but if you see like the switch in the market, like everybody's just trying to push that, push this, push that. And I think for the content creators, what they really need to do is sit down and learn a skill, because I truly believe for most content creators, until you hit at least 50K a month, you can truly do a lot of this stuff on your own. And what I mean by that, and I'll take some of that back though, because going into number 2 on why content creators stay broke is content creators, or at least the ones that I've, spoken to, is a very rare percentage, a very small percentage out there of content creators who move with speed. And I think the reason why a lot of the content creators who do move with speed are the ones who seen the upside potential of what content and what their brand can bring them, right? And what I mean by that is a lot of content creators who haven't sold anything or who struggle, they lack speed and they have fear. That's what it is. And money likes speed. And so for our client right here, we've been trying to do like a little pre-launch type of content for 14 days here. And we're barely getting content out, right? And even inside of, I think I broke this down, the School of Platinum, they're having people just drop links in their bio, which I think is, hit or miss. It can work, but also can't work. I really do think it just depends on the type of audience that the person has, right? Because some audiences may not like the link in bio, right? Some audiences may not even like a VSL. Some audiences may like, email sequences. Some audience may like phone calls. It's just a big realm of different things that I feel like audiences would like, to the point to where not just one single funnel would work for everybody, right? And I want to bring this back because for the link in bio, right? Like it definitely does work, but I feel like when you have a low percentage, or if you're not running ads, not low percentage, a lower following and you're not running ads, I truly do think building that personal connection, having the audience reach out to the creator, or just make it feel super personable to where the customer feels welcome, the customer feels satisfied, right? Like when a customer buys from you, the first 48 hours their brain is going to be on you like no other, right? I started to realize that like you have to satisfy these people within the first 48 hours of them giving you money, right? I feel like that's what starts off and what builds a great connection to them being, a high LTV customer, right? You want your audience to love you for you, right? You don't want to do what everyone else is doing. Oh yeah, just drop the link in my bio, comment this word and I'll send it over to you. Like, bro, people know that is not you commenting that word. You're literally responding to every comment on there. That's dumb, in my opinion, right? Don't get me wrong. It's ripping for a lot of people. But I do think over time, when you keep ripping, hey, do this in the, comment this in the comments, and it's literally the same copy and paste message, people are going to get tired of that, right? And so I feel like when it's time to, I feel like when it's time to sell, a lot of these content creators are just copying and pasting, right? They're not trying to be different. They're different in their content, but when it comes to the funnels, they're not being unique. They're not being different. And so I feel like for a lot of, especially in the fitness realm, when you get through the sales cycle and everything, people are just burnt out. The audience is burnt out, like they're tired of it, right? And then the last thing I'll get into, which is number 3, is why, or number 3 on why most content creators stay broke is, I'll get into this as fear. And so like what I was saying earlier is a lot of content creators have been burned. A lot of them see other people get burned and they get the fear of starting something on their own. Kind of like what I was saying, being different. We get on a lot of calls to where people have they have something in their brain to where they see someone else do terrible at that work and they're like, holy cow, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. But whole time they don't even know what's going on, to the point to where they didn't realize that who they saw went down or who they saw is doing terrible is running their work completely wrong. They're doing their work completely different. And so I feel like for a lot of content creators, it puts this scarcity or fear in their brain of like, oh, I'm just like that person, I don't want to be like them, right? Yeah, and so when you have, that scarcity and fear in your mind, it really, really holds you back from making the right decisions. And I think I said this in my last video as well, is I feel like a lot of content creators don't take risk the correct way. I feel like the reason a lot of these content creators partner with other people is very fear-based, right? Like, of course you're going to have, a little bit of that anxiety or a little bit of that anxiousness in there to where, you pay someone $5K or you give someone 40% of your company. Yeah, you're going to have that. But I feel like a lot of, content creators, they get burnt once, just like how they would probably 9 times out of 10 got their heart broken once, but they still look for love, right? And so what I kind of wanted to bring that all around with is like, one bad experience, you can't let one bad experience, stop you from touching, who knows, maybe $1 million a month, right? The people the creators we've spoken to are, not gonna lie, dirt poor. And so, and this is why it's low-key insane to me, because they have huge followings, even on YouTube. Like, everybody knows how crazy YouTube is, especially when you're posting the correct content. You're posting what you need to be posting. And like I said, if it all goes back to like what you want to post on the internet. I mean, if you're posting brain rot stuff, dude, do you, that's all you. But you can't be mad when, you know, let's say you're at your job and you want to make some money, and you know everybody's like brain rot because of your content, and you're trying to, you know, sell something, and it's like, well, holy shit, you know, I can't make any money. I kind of have to restart or make a shift in my content. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. That's really what I wanted to come here and tell you, talk to you guys about. Just 3 little reasons on why I think content creators stay poor. Without further ado, don't forget to drop a like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to be dropping way more videos like this, just really dropping value. I'm not really here to ask for anything. I just want to, you know, drop value. These are going to be kind of progress videos. And yeah, so appreciate you guys for tuning in. And without further ado, I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.